Ever wish you could use your Microsoft Access database from anywhere in the world instead of being stuck in one office? Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by Access Learning Zone. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about hosting your Microsoft Access database online with SQL Server. If you have employees working remotely, multiple office locations, or you simply want access to your data while you're at the airport, this approach lets everyone connect to the same database over the internet. This video is lesson 1 from my complete SQL Server online seminar. In the full seminar, I show you everything from setting up your server to migrating your access data to connecting the front end, optimizing performance, securing the database, and even building a simple web app so people can access your data from a browser. If you'd like to follow the entire process from start to finish, there's a link in the description below. All right, let's get started. In lesson 1, we're going to discuss why you would want to connect your Access database to an online SQL server. We'll talk about the pros and cons. Then we'll discuss what you need to get started and what they will need to connect to your database. Why do you want to connect to SQL Server online? Well, if you've ever wanted to use your database in multiple locations, there's reason enough. If you've got people working from home, that's another good reason. If you want to allow different people to travel and still have access to the database on the road. There's lots of reasons why you'd want to have your data online. People anywhere can access your Access database if they have an internet connection. And remember, the Access runtime is free, so as long as they have a Windows PC, they can install the free Access runtime. In addition, you can connect to your database from other platforms. I'm going to talk about today using Microsoft Access, of course, and creating a simple web-based interface where you can just use a web browser to view your data. But you can also connect to your database using Excel VBA, an Android app if you know how to do that, even a Mac. Okay, there's lots of different ways you can connect your data then once the data is stored online. Let's talk about the pros and cons of working with online data. The con is that large data sets can take a long time to download. If you've got a customer table with 50,000 records in it, okay, and you're going to run reports on that, that information can take a long time to transfer to your computer if you pull down all 50,000 records, for example. However, a pro is also speed. If you optimize your database correctly using something called a pass-through query, then those queries can be performed on the server. Okay, the server can process it and send only the data that you need. Now, for those of you who've been using Access for a while, if you're going to take your old Access database and upgrade it to what we're doing today with SQL Server, it may involve some redesign. You may have to rethink the way you run your large reports and your big queries, okay, or some of your forms. You might not want to pull down all of these records, right? Have Access process the information on the server using a pass-through query. And we'll talk a lot about pass-through queries in the next couple lessons. Next is accessibility. The pro is anyone anywhere in the world can view and edit your database. The con is anyone anywhere in the world can view, edit, and delete your data. Okay, so make sure you keep your passwords safe. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time, 3 lessons in fact, are based on security. Securing your data, making sure people can't get into it. Personally, I find even having your data online in SQL Server is still more secure than having it on your network in an Access backend. If all you're doing right now is you've got a split database on your network and you've got a file share set up with an Access backend, okay, what you're going to be doing today is more secure because you can't get into that database without the password. In order to give Access users the ability to edit data, you have to give them full control over that share. They have to have read-write access to that file share. Okay, not so with SQL Server. So you'll actually find that this type of setup is actually more secure than just a split Access database. Safety. Pro, your data is stored outside your office. So if the place burns down, your data is already backed up offline. Con is what happens if their data center goes up in flames, right? So make sure you back up your data regularly. I'm going to talk about this in one of the upcoming lessons. But you can do manual backups whenever you want to, all right, using the SQL administrator tool I'm going to show you. But they also have backup services where for a couple of dollars a month, they'll back up your database every night. And I strongly recommend that. We'll talk more about backups in a bit. Reliability. If your local server goes down, you can still access your database online. Okay? I've had it happen many times where people say, well, the server that we have on the network is down, so we've got to move the database somewhere else, restore from backups, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that can shut you down for a day or two. Okay? The con is, in the case of an online database, if your internet connection goes down, now everybody in the office is also offline. It's usually easier to fix your internet connection problem or have a backup for that. Like, for example, me, I'm just me here in the office. I work for myself. But if my Comcast internet goes down, I can use my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and then I'm back up online. Okay? Whereas if the server machine that I have my database on goes down, okay, then I've got to either restore the backup to my local hard drive and try to install SQL Server there. You see what I'm saying? So it's actually easier to deal with the fact that, if your internet connection goes down, you can easily get a backup for that. And if you have business class internet, I know a lot of providers also have cell backup for that. So if you have, cable or old T1 line or any of that kind of stuff for your internet connection in your office, they have cellular backup options for that as well, in case like a truck hits your lines coming into your building or something. Or you could just fire up your phone and get on that way with your web portal. I'm going to show you how to do that too. Management. Okay, if you have an SQL Server in your office, you've got to manage it. You've got to install updates. You've got to take care of security patches. All right, this way, your SQL Server, the machine is actually managed and maintained by the IT professionals at your ISP. They handle taking care of it. A con is you do have less control over the server. There are some things you can't do to that server, but generally speaking, you shouldn't really need to do most of that stuff. There's some really advanced stuff you can't do, but I'm personally happy having them worry about it. Right? I used to manage my own web server back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I had my own box. I had a buddy of mine who had a server farm in his office because he did basically internet type stuff. So I just rented server space from him. I had to maintain Windows Server and my SQL Server. I had to, install security fixes and patches and upgrades, and I still got hacked. I had the U.S. Air Force showed up at my house one day, and they said, Mr. Rost, your server's been implicated in a denial of service attack on the Pentagon. I'm like, what? Turns out hackers from overseas got into my server, and I was, fairly up to date with my patches. Bottom line is, this way the security and all that stuff is maintained, and the SQL Server is updated by the people at your internet provider. You don't have to worry about that. All right, some other stuff. SQL Server can handle many more concurrent users than a back-end access database. Okay, you can have, 500 people from all over the world working on your database with their access front ends and your SQL Server backend. Okay, whereas, and of course, if they're all in the same office, that's going to be predicated by your internet speed. Okay, if you're using a slow internet connection, that's going to, dictate how many users you can have online at one time. But on your typical LAN, on your normal access backend setup where you've got access as your front end connecting to your back end tables on a server, I realistically wouldn't have more than 20 people at a time using that database. All right, even 10 sometimes is cutting it, depending on the speed of your LAN, on the speed of your network. All right, but usually 20 is about my cutoff. If someone says they got 100 users, you're going to SQL Server. Sorry. Okay. I'm sure we've all run into this before if you're using a split solution. You don't have to kick users out of the database to make changes on the back end. Okay? Obviously, if you add fields to a table, they're going to have to close their database, get your update. You're going to have to send them a new front end, or at least relink the tables. We'll talk about all this in a bit. But you can still do maintenance changes on the back end without having to kick everybody out. You can run backups without having to kick everybody out. So your database is online 24/7 even while you're working on it. Okay? So if you make changes to a table, if you add some fields, delete some fields, whatever, you can do that while people are using the database, and then make changes to your front end, and when you're finished, just distribute your front end. Okay? Con, SQL Server doesn't support attachments or multi-valued fields, and hyperlinks will get converted to text. But that's not really a con, because if you've taken any of my other classes, I don't like attachments, and I never use multi-valued fields. So it's not really a con, but I just wanted to mention that in case your database relies on attachments. Big no-no. I've seen attachments corrupt databases. Don't store files, pictures, any of that stuff in your database. And I've got dozens of other lessons on that stuff. So if you have any questions, post down below in the comment section and I'll point you to the right place. Okay, so what do you need to get started? All you need is Microsoft Access, just one user license. I recommend a Microsoft 365 subscription so you've got the latest and greatest and the best and all the patches and the big bug fixes and all that stuff. If you're using the retail version 2016, 2019, that's just fine too. Bottom line is you only need one license. The person developing the database, building it, making changes to the design of the database is the only person that actually needs a full copy of Microsoft Access. You need Windows-based hosting with SQL Server. I recommend winhost.com. They're my personal recommendation. I'm going to spend a whole lesson showing you how to set up an account on Winhost, configure your server, set up your database server. Okay, so if you want my recommendation, go with Winhost. I will not support any problems or questions you have regarding other ISPs. I just left GoDaddy. I don't like GoDaddy anymore. My server, I was with them for over 10 years. My server ran, at first it was great, but toward the end my server was running really slow. They were trying to blame it on me, on my coding, which I know is solid. Okay, and their support is awful. They would take days to get back to me sometimes, or you can't email a technician. Whereas at Winhost, everything is beautiful. I copied the same website over to Winhost, and it ran beautifully. All right, so GoDaddy was full of bleep. Okay, and Winhost service technicians get back to me right away, like within minutes of emailing them. So you need SQL Server to use this class. There's MySQL is the number 2 competitor. It's okay. You can use it with Access. I don't support it. I don't use it myself, so don't ask me questions about it. And yes, I believe they also have an SQL Server available for Linux web hosting, but again, I don't recommend that. I recommend Windows hosting, SQL Server. It's inexpensive. We're going to talk about that in the next class. But yeah, that's what I recommend. And finally, you'll need a web page editor if you want to connect to your database using the web. I recommend a program called Edit Plus. Again, I'll talk about this a little bit later on. Okay, you can use Front Page, Expression Web, whatever web designer you use. I'll show you how to use ASP, Active Server Pages, to connect to your database online, so you can create a portal for your users to view and edit data online. I'm going to show you how to connect to it and view the data, but I have other classes. My ASP classes teach you how to make editing forms and all that kind of stuff. Okay, what do they need? What do your end users need? All they need, well, first of all, it costs them nothing to get into your data now. Okay? All you need is Microsoft Access Runtime Edition. Okay, and I've got a whole other separate set of lessons on this. I'll put links down below. It's free. All they have to do is download the Runtime Edition, install it, then they're good to go. That's it. You don't have to have a paid copy of Microsoft Access to use an Access database, even an online one. Okay, so people tell me, well, I want to use Microsoft Access, but it's cost prohibitive. I got 250 users. No, only one person in your office needs a paid copy of Access, the person doing the database development. All right, everybody else, the end users, can use the free copy. And it's the same exact thing. You just can't edit the database, which is what you want anyways. You don't want your end users editing your database. Okay, but if you got someone in accounting who wants to write their own queries, or design their own data entry form, then yeah, they'll need a paid copy of Access. It's inexpensive. Get a Microsoft 365 subscription. It's a couple bucks a month. Or if they only need like the ability to quickly look up a customer record or look up a sales history, you can build them a web portal in ASP, which I'm going to show you a little bit later on. And that's it. Right? No extra cost. Access is actually a powerful, inexpensive solution for working with data online. All right, so now that we got that under our belt, we're going to go ahead and get started setting up a Winhost account in the next lesson. And then I'll show you how to install SQL Server Management Studio and connect to your database. Then we'll actually take an Access database and upload it to SQL Server and connect to it. So get ready. Here we go. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video.
If you're new to Microsoft Access, check out my Access Beginner Level 1 course. It's over 4 hours long and it covers all the basics like tables, queries, forms, and reports. It's a great place to start and it's also completely free. Members of my channel get extended cut videos, sample databases, access to my code vault, and full training classes every month. Click the join button for details. Thanks for watching. I'm Richard Rost with AccessLearningZone.com. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.